Here we go from X22 Report. This is Giuliani, and he wants 3 witnesses from Ukraine, and they're refusing visas from them. They're fighting and trying to stop the witnesses from coming here to testify. Very, very powerful.
Ukrainians to prevent Trump from being president. This is what he tweeted out. My letter to Lindsey Graham. These witnesses have direct, non-hearsay evidence of Democratic criminal conspiracy with Ukrainians to prevent @real Donald Trump from being president and more. Taylor's embassy is uniformly refusing them visas. So what does Rudy Giuliani want? He wants 3 witnesses to come here to the United States. He can't get the visas for these witnesses. They're going to testify about the Biden family corruption. But the Ukrainian embassy, they will not give these visas to these individuals. They have been denied. And who controls the embassy out in Ukraine? Taylor. Didn't Taylor testify? Absolutely. I wonder what they're worried about. See how they're all covering all this up? And the mainstream media, they keep saying that Rudy Giuliani is digging up dirt. Oh, he's digging up dirt on the Bidens. He's digging up dirt on these individuals. Well, if there's corruption and you committed a crime, you're not digging up dirt. You're presenting evidence. You're fact-finding. Actually, Sidney Powell, she tweeted out in defense of Rudy Giuliani. Getting the truth about someone's actual conduct and or crimes is 5G.
So Sidney just testifies that it's not digging up dirt, it's finding out the truth.
It is finding the truth. That was absolutely beautiful. Trump tweeted out the following. The Democrats' dirty tricks have started this whole thing. The whistleblower, the guy who took his case to Schiff's staff first, is what really blows the lid off this entire saga. He worked for Biden on Ukraine policy when Biden was vice president. He worked for the deep state henchman John Brennan, too. And the whistleblower also worked for Susan Rice. It's an understatement to say that this is a witch hunt. They spied on my campaign. Trump is just laying it out there, letting everyone know this is what they're covering up. Now, we know the deep state Dems, they're mulling over what they should do because they know they are, and they're realizing that they've been outplayed. Nancy Pelosi said that they anticipated an impeachment vote in mid-December, but a review of the House impeachment resolution calls for a transfer from HPSCI inquiry, Schiff, to HJC investigation, Nadler, as an outcome of a report from Adam Schiff's Intelligence Committee. And this is from The Last Refuge. Even if we assume the HPSCI report is being written during the Thanksgiving break by HPSCI lawfare staff, there would still need to be a period where the report is reviewed by the Congress members on the committee. Normally, there'd be a minority section to the report, and under all committee processes, there'd be a vote to advance the report. Again, there's only 8 days in December, and presumably, HPSCI committee members would need to review the report prior to advancing it in the House Judiciary Committee. Once the report lands in the House Judiciary Committee, again, according to the prior resolution, that's when President Trump would be able to call rebuttal witnesses and have White House counsel challenge and cross-examine House Judiciary Committee witnesses. The calendar doesn't work out. It seems that they don't have the ability to do this right now. And when you walk through it all on paper, the legal impeachment process just doesn't match up with the House Speaker's talking points. Yet, if they don't complete the impeachment process in the House, it's arguably worse. By the end of the year, they will have spent 4 months on this fiasco. How can they not have a vote? And yet, what would they be voting on? This schedule just doesn't add up. And then consider the legal challenges on a parallel track. There are 3 cases. Each of them appears heading to the Supreme Court. One is already there. The first case is the House Oversight Committee effort to gain President Trump's tax returns as part of their impeachment inquiry and oversight. The case is currently on hold, 10-day stay, in the Supreme Court. Probability of loss to Pelosi, 90%. The second case is the House Judiciary Committee effort to gain the grand jury information from the Mueller investigation. The decision by the D.C. Judge Beryl Howell was stayed by three-member D.C. Appellate Court. Oral arguments were November 12th. The decision is pending. Depending on outcome, the case will also go to SCOTUS. Probability of SCOTUS, 100%. And that's going to take some time. The third case is the HJC effort to force the testimony of former White House legal counsel Don McGahn. Issue subpoena validity. The HGC was asked for an expedited ruling.
So they're going to run out of time with all this, obviously. Let's go on. All right, all this incorrect reporting, all these lawsuits going on, they're piling up.
Contrary to popular belief, I am still here. I did not threaten to resign. We are here to talk about external threats, and Eddie Gallagher is not one of them. He continued, I would like to further state that in no way, shape, or form did I ever threaten to resign. That has been incorrectly reported in the press. I serve at the pleasure of the president. So the mainstream media is pushing fake stories. Now, this used to work in the past where they had their sources and they had the inside track and everyone cooperated. Today, it doesn't work because today people are speaking out saying, no, this is not true. Your inside sources, your fake propaganda, your fake information that you're putting out there is just not true. And now we see lawsuits all over the place suing the mainstream media for libel. Think about what's happening here. Think about
it's about time, it's about time, it's about time. But the Great Awakening is occurring.
How the social media, how all of this is being used against the mainstream media. We, the people, we are the news now, if you really think about it. Let's get into some of Q's posts. Q dropped some more bread, and we're going to start off with post 3622. This was November 23rd, 2019. And Q gives us a Twitter link to Jipe Fin. And here it says QAnon meeting at Finland. And this is November 23rd, 2019. Q says the Great Awakening, where we go one, we go all. Jorma, Elkman, and other patriots in Finland are helping spread awareness of corruption and supporting Q. Post 3623 gives us a YouTube link. This is a video of Trump on Fox News and Friends. He phoned in, and Q says, listen at the 16-minute mark. So let's take a listen to what Trump said.
With all of that, of course you have to look at corruption. Are we going to be sending massive amounts of money to a country and they're corrupt and they steal the money and it goes into everybody's bank account? So you have to look at that.
So Q in this post tells everyone what POTUS said, what we just heard, and this is in quotes. Are we going to be sending massive amounts of money that simply go into other people's personal bank accounts? Theft and personal and theft, they're in kill brackets and they're bolded. Who audits where foreign aid actually goes? Nobody. Foreign aid with an arrow pointing to country X, pointing to personal bank accounts, plus U.S. persons involved. I just want to stop here for a sec. Where do you think these funds come from? What is the source? Yes, it all leads back to the central bank because it's the big credit card for the country. Who accounts for anything? What are the checks and balances? There are none. That money goes missing, they just create more. Let me continue. Think Iran. Think Paris Accord. Attempt. This is brackets, bolded. And if you want to know more about the Paris Accord and how it works, on the x22report.com site, I have a link at the top and it says resources. And if you go to resources, there's a pull down menu and just go to Paris Climate Accord and listen to that video. It will explain the entire Paris Accord and how they were going to funnel money into certain individuals' pockets. And it had nothing to do with global change, climate change, keeping the earth safe or anything like that. Let me continue. Think all. corrupt system. Do you think George Soros, and this is in brackets, bold caps, is sending his own money, push of radical viewpoint adoption, U.S. taxpayer payment, aid, with an arrow pointing directly, indirectly to George Soros organizations, drops foreign aid, then gives us a video to Trump where he's going to drain the swamp. This is when he was running for election. Q says, listen carefully and kill brackets bold. Returning power to the people. Draining the swamp. POTUS is fighting for you. It's been a long time since we had a non-corrupt POTUS who cares for the people and not himself. So Trump is suggesting that foreign aid often ends up in the bank accounts of politicians and their relatives and some other individuals to push their agenda. Q has given us many examples of how this was done. Remember post 489? This was U.S.
So we're going to end it here. Don't have much time, but there's a great shift on this. This foreign aid needs to be stopped. It's being abused. It's going into individuals' accounts, and they're using this. Political people are using this for their own gain, and there's no checks on it. Get out of this business. Stop the central bank and stop this corruption. We've got to get there. Good day.